New Golden State Warriors center Al Horford was integral to the Boston Celtics' on-court success, but his contributions extended beyond the court. Horford was the locker room leader and served as a mentor to his teammates, most of whom entered the NBA more than a decade after he turned pro in 2007. NBC Sports Bay Area's Dalton Johnson believes Horford can play a similar role on a Warriors team that has several younger players in bench roles. Horford, 39 years old, in his own ways will have influence over the few young players on the Warriors, most notably for 25-year-old centers Quinton Post and Tracy Jackson-Davis, wrote Johnson. Plus, any help at center is a win for Draymond Green and his health for a full season. Horford also brings something the Warriors have never had at his position. Al Horford fill huge void. To Johnson's point, Horford, who made 1.9 threes per game last season, will perform the role of a stretch five, a luxury the Warriors have never had in the Steve Kerr era. Golden State has had several rim runners and lob threats over the years, but never a reliable floor-spacing center who can consistently knock down shots. He now has made the fourth most threes, 877, by a center in NBA history, behind only Karl-Anthony Towns, Brook Lopez, and Nikola Vucevic, in that order, Johnson wrote. Horford has made at least 100 threes in each of the last 3 seasons, while connecting on 40.9% of them. This past season, he only played 60 games, a career low for a full season, yet still made his second most threes, 114, and also attempted his second most, 314. Celtics teammates idolized him. During his time with the Celtics, Horford was beloved for his leadership both on and off the court. In the lead-up to the 2025 playoffs, Jason Tatum spoke glowingly about Horford's leadership, going as far as to suggest that Horford taught him to be a pro. Al showed me what it means to be a professional, Tatum said of Horford, while reflecting on the Dominican's role in mentoring him as a youngster in the NBA. Somebody that came to work every day, had a routine, had a plan, whether it was a practice day, a game day, or off day. That was so beneficial to me. When I was young, I just think I can show up, put my shoes on, and get on the court. Al really showed me, not even by telling, just by watching him go through his routine. Al's in year 18 and still a vital part of a championship team. Peyton Pritchard, the reigning 6th Man of the Year, said after the 2025 NBA playoffs that Horford's role was irreplaceable in the locker room. "You can't replace Al," Pritchard said. "I definitely hope we get that figured out because his locker room presence alone is just crucial. We definitely need him back." The Golden State Warriors had a relatively quiet media day, with Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Steve Kerr holding off on big statements until Jonathan Kuminga finalizes his free agency decision. Veteran Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green all gave measured answers about Kuminga, with the expectation he'll return later this week. But while things were muted in San Francisco, a frustrated comment from a young big man in Utah may have put the Warriors on notice. Walker Kessler voices frustration. At Utah Jazz Media Day, Walker Kessler admitted he was definitely a little frustrated after failing to reach a rookie-scale extension with the Jazz. As Tony Jones of The Athletic reported, Kessler and the team won't agree to a deal before the deadline, setting him up for restricted free agency next summer. That combination, no extension and public frustration, is exactly the kind of situation that catches the eye of rival front offices. Why the Warriors should be watching. Peter O'Keefe of Blue Man Hoop urged Golden State to keep an eye on Kessler as a potential trade target, and it's not hard to see why. At 7 feet tall, Kessler offers elite rim protection that the Warriors simply don't have. He averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and 2.4 blocks last season while holding opponents to just 53.7% shooting at the rim. That kind of defensive anchor is something Al Horford, Tracy Jackson-Davis, and Quinton Post cannot provide at the same level. The Warriors have worked to patch holes this offseason with veterans like Horford, Gary Payton II, and DeAnthony Melton, plus depth moves such as Pat Spencer. But the glaring need for a long-term rim protector remains. Kessler fits that profile perfectly. Warriors face challenges in making a deal. Of course, targeting Kessler and actually acquiring him are two very different things. Jazz GM Danny Ainge is known for squeezing maximum value out of trades, and Golden State already had tough negotiations with Utah last summer while exploring a potential Lauri Markkanen deal. The Warriors would need to decide not only what they're willing to offer, but also whether they're ready to pay Kessler in restricted free agency. It's a gamble, but one that could finally give them a defensive anchor in the paint. What's next? For now, Kessler remains with the Jazz. But his extension talks breaking down, combined with his own frustration, makes him one of the league's most intriguing names to monitor this season. And for the Warriors, who are trying to extend the Curry era while quietly building their next core, keeping tabs on Kessler is more than just an idea. It could be a glimpse at the future of their front court. Many people thought the Golden State Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga would have signed a deal by now, but with training camp just a couple of days away, Kuminga is still not with the team. And there is no clarity about what will happen next. According to Shams Charania, there are 3 offers on the table for Kuminga. The first is a 2-year, $45 million deal with a team option on the final season. The second is a 3-year, $75.2 million deal that also has a team option. Finally, there is a 3-year, $54 million deal with no team option. No one knows which Kuminga will agree to, or if he'll accept any of them. Kuminga probably likes the numbers that he sees, but he isn't wild about the team option. Reports have said that he wants a player option, which would give him more flexibility and control over his future. These offerings might not give Kuminga everything he desires, but they are still pretty generous. However, it may not be enough to get him on board. Other teams, such as the Sacramento Kings, have shown interest in him, but they may be out of time. There may be no other choices for Kuminga, and he may be forced to pick from one of these options from the Warriors. If he does come back, Kuminga will want more minutes and more opportunities. Not just because he would want to help the Warriors win, but because he would hope to raise his value on the market for the next offseason.